Alright everybody, welcome back to my channel, and I finally was able to get my hands on the 2-player starter set for the Shadowbringers. So we're going to go into it. I'm going to give you a review, tell you a little bit about the cards, and I guess my thoughts on the whole thing. As always though, just shout out to Andy for help getting his hands on these for us. I really appreciate it. It's so hard to get product these days that any little bit helps. I hear they are courtesy of the light, so thank you to them as well. So yeah, let's get started, guys. We have the Crystal Exert side, which is lightning and earth lightning, and we can go ahead and start here. Now the Crystal Exarch. At the beginning of the attack phase, during each player's turn, choose a forward. It gains 2,000 power until the end of the turn. The Crystal Exarch gains at 5 damage. The Crystal Exarch gains when the Crystal Exarch attacks. Choose a forward. If its power is less than the Crystal Exarch's power, break it. Not bad, pretty cool. Seems pretty straightforward. I actually like its effect too. You can choose any forward, so for whatever reason you can choose your opponent's forwards. There's probably a combo in there. So let's go into it. So we have 3 of these, 3 of the only 2 Y'shtola. That seems loose. We have Rabans, which are cool. Dark Knight, Minor, Momodi, Cryos, and Full Art Minfilias, which are nice too. Only one Full Art Minfilia, it seems. Okay, so getting 3 of these is going to be a problem. I don't know if this is the way it's supposed to go. Let me double check here, make sure I'm not only getting... No, yeah, I think I only got 2 Y'shtolas here. Is that supposed to happen? Can anybody else confirm that? Let me know. But yeah, it looks like Scions are back here. We'll go into these a little bit more. Oh, never mind, I found it. It was behind the Crystal Exarch. Never mind. So there are 3 here too. Let's see what else we have in here. These are the Ureanjers. It's probably having the same issue here. These are the new cards. New Thancred. Old Thancred. Okay, new Thancred has an S, so that makes sense. Dragoons. Alpha Nod. Let me see. We have Louis Swa. So a couple of reprints here. Alice. Oh, this isn't the one that gives everyone haste, is it? No. We have more removes. Nice. And the Oracle of Light. So all in all, we have legendaries here. Pretty basic cards. Obviously the deck seems like it works well together, being as that it's revolved around the Scions. But now we can get into the nitty gritty of the new cards. We already read the Crystal Exarch, but now we have Y'shtola. Y'shtola cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons, which is very good. When Y'shtola enters the field, choose a forward in your break zone. If its cost is equal to or less than the number of job Scions of the 7th Dawn you control, play it onto the field. That's cool. So she is a 6-drop, able to recur one of your other forwards. So it doesn't even, so the forward she brings back doesn't have to be a Scion. Choose a forward in your break zone. Right, if it's cost, as long as the cost is less than the number of Scions. So that's cool. That leaves the deck open to a little versatility. Normally, what's your averaging here? Like 3 to 4 Scions on board with her. So, you know, whatever your deck's building, I guess that's for stuff like, you know, Oracle of Light here as well. But it also helps you increase the Scions, right? Like, ideally, you'd be giving them haste with, you know, Alice and stuff, so you're going to want to reborn a Scion. But that's cool that she could probably make her way into other decks if there's enough Scions on the board. So I like that. Oracle of Light. The job Scions of the 7th Dawn. Forwards you control gain 2,000 power. Not bad. When the Oracle of Light is put from the field into the break zone, you may remove the Oracle of Light from the game. When you do so, choose a job Scion of the 7th Dawn in your break zone. Play it onto the field. So more recursion here as well. I like these cards. This feels like it's helping Scions come back from the grave in general. Like being able to, you know, bring back stuff and special summon more things when they die. It's gonna help them keep up or come back into the meta in 12.5 here. So that's nice. When the drop scion of the 7th dawn other than Thancred enters the field, until the end of the turn, Thancred gains 2,000 power, haste, and brave. You can, for an S and tap, choose a forward, deal damage equal to Thancred's power. Yeah, that's not bad. So he's able to go, he's able to get haste and brave. So yeah, Thancred being able to recur the other forwards being able to like come back in from Oracle and Ishtola is gonna just keep like making Thancred playable. So that's really cool. And choosing a forward to break with an S seems nice too. You know, equal to his power. He's flat 8k and then a 10k when another Scion comes in. So that is gonna open up a lot of possibilities for the deck. The question is now that there's so many Thancreds, right? We have these, we have the backups, we have the forwards. There's like another one too somewhere. There's like a couple of forwards. So I guess so far, I guess I like this one the most, but we'll have to see which one plays better with the rest of the deck. Ureanger, EX Burst, 2-drop, 5k. When Ureanger enters the field, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, add a category 14 character among them, and return the other cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. So, also good. The problem here is the same thing with that Noctis that we have, right? Except that this is EX Burst, so it's a little better. I don't remember if the Noctis is EX Burst actually. But the 14 cards, right? So that just means you're going to have to increase everything to 14 to make this a lot better. He's still 2k. I mean, he's still a 2-drop, so that makes him easy to bring in and easy to recur him. But yeah, the Scion deck looks pretty interesting, pretty playable now. We'll have to see how it fares against Samurais, Storm, Guido Barrelai, and you know pretty much anything else right now. Ned, I think dealing with Ned is going to be the problem as always, but should be fun. Now we can move on to the next part. Have you guys gotten your hands on this yet by any chance? Are you having shipping issues or product issues? Just have to wait. I hope you guys are able to play this. Now I'm just happy I can take it to locals now. Finally, I don't like going to locals when we're missing cards like from a whole. You know, if you're playing Opus 11 and Opus 12 just hit and everyone's there, then it's gonna be really bad, right? Because you're super behind. And I know a 12.5 expansion isn't like the craziest thing, but you know, if someone brings an Ishtola, you know, Scions deck, and I'm not saying I would play those Scions, but in a regular deck, but I'm thinking the cards from this side would make things interesting. So I like playing on the spiciest levels as always. All right, so Emmett Celch. I think we have an Emmett, right? That just came out in the last set. When Emmett enters the field, you may pay 4 CP. If you do so, search for an ice backup of cost 4 or less and play it onto the field. So as long as you're paying for something that's going to net you a card, this is a plus. Yeah, so you'll pay him, pay the 4 CP, bring something 3 or 4, and then that either gets something back or searches a new one. That should be good, so that's not bad for a card. Yeah, he seems pretty good. I can't think of, so it has to be ice, right? So the best thing to do is fit him to, you know, a mono ice deck again. Let's do the same thing. Let's go over these after. So we have, oh, see, look, so there's another Emmett here. This is the one that I was talking about. So it is 12. It's interesting that they put 6 of these with no S. The Thancreds make sense, but this one does not. So we'll see there. I guess that one just is a chump blocker, while this one is the stronger one, I would say. Conjurer, Bards, Flans. Oh, new Flans. That's nice. Haven't had some clean-looking Flans in a while. We have the new Philia. Ranjit. They gave us some Gaius. Oh, they gave us a full art nail again. That's interesting. I think this is like full art common now, so that's interesting. Let's see. We have red mages, Yotsuyus, black mages, Ifrits, and Innocents. So overall, just by looking at it, I guess I like the other deck a little bit more, but let's get more into some of these effects before we make that decision. All right, now we have 3 Innocents here. So these are cards that you guys can expect to be foil in the next set, like, you know, the starter cards or whatever. we're going to have Titania, Philia, Ranjit, and Innocence. And obviously foil versions of Emmett non-full art. So a lot of rarities in there. Innocence, Light Warden, Brave. If the card name Innocence is in your break zone, Innocence gains tap a fire, choose a forward, deal it 10k. And tap an ice, choose your opponent discards 2 cards from their hand. You can only use this ability during your turn and only once per turn. So that's a cool thing. You have options with him. You know, being as that he came in a fire ice, you know, pre-made deck here, it seems like that's the best place to put him. Obviously, you could fit him into, you know, mono fire or something with fire and only take advantage of the fire effect. Or, you know, same could be said with an ice effect. But this is a very interesting card. And then there's always the option where you can, you know, if you're able to, you know, activate him in the same turn and then use the other effect. I know the discard one you can only use once, but I think this is a pretty neat card. He's 4K Brave. I'm sorry, 4-drop, 9K Brave. And so that makes him a little bit above the curve with some decent effects. I like that. I think with the new materia, right, the new light 1-drop, I don't know if it says being able to recur stuff or, you know, play another one, but this might be a good option if you have one in the break zone already, right? Being able to, you know, take advantage of these effects. So that's interesting for me. We have Ranjit, 8-drop, 8k. Wow. Captain, the cost required to cast Ranjit is reduced by 1 for each backup you control. Okay, so when Ranjit enters the field, choose a forward your opponent controls, deal at 8k. That seems pretty simple. Yeah, I don't know if it's worth the 8Ks. I guess the 8K is, you know, above the norm for an on-enter ability, so that's nice. But at an average, you're gonna have this guy at a 4 or 5. So especially considering the meta, right? Like, it's not as slow. Getting to 5 backups isn't a luxury that you can that everyone has now. So interesting. Philia. Light Warden also, if Philia is dealt damage by your by an ability, that damage becomes 0 instead. Cool, so built-in Minwu. That's cool, I like that ability. When Philia enters the field, deal 10,000 damage to all forwards. Philia deals you 1 point of damage. Wow, okay, so I like this a lot. 1 card board clear, both sides it seems. And he's not like... Yeah. Oh wow, this guy's really good. We don't have a lot of AKs, a lot of 8-drops in the game, so this is interesting too. You know, Shantoto's just like a backup that gives you, you know, that clears the board as well. But this is very nice too. I can see this making its way into a lot of decks. Yeah, he's just a big problem to deal with too. Imagine being able to cheat this guy in. Seems like a lot of fun to me. That might explore that a little more. All right, Titania. You can only cast Titania if you have a forward, backup, monster, and summon in your break zone. Oh, that's interesting. That's a big, you know, stipulation. But I'm sure cheating these in, you can only cast, right? So the same thing can be said here. Yeah, cast means playing from your hand and paying for it. So, you know, being able to cheat this in is fine. When Titania enters the field, choose up to 2 characters your opponent controls, dull them, and freeze them. Okay, so 2 for that's like the Shiva summon too. So 2 8K. Oh, these are nice too. These are nice cards. We already read Emmett. So all in all, I haven't, like I said, guys, we just got this, so I don't think I'll have time to play test them as is. But as always, these starter decks, these 2-player starter decks, are always really good. There is a bunch of new cards here and some pretty strong cards in my opinion. So definitely I think getting your hands on them is going to be good. Now, are they necessary? Probably not. I can't be sure yet. Philia is probably the only one in my opinion, and Titania on a close second, that seems to probably make their way into multiple decks. But the rest seem kind of, you know, under par. The Scion thing is also the same thing, right? Like, unless this deck can compete with everything else, you could probably skip this. Or if you're a 14 fan, then you cannot skip this, right? I'm actually happy that this starter deck alone is going to bring back a few players back into my locals. They've been wanting to play Scions again for a while, but like I said earlier on, they've been a little outdated and behind the curve. So I'm hoping this Thancred and the Y'shtola and these cards are able to do that. Overall, they seem pretty balanced for starter decks. I don't know that I still think like the Cloud and Sephiroth one were better as overall. And then even the Villains one was pretty good. That one was a long time ago, but it had more value. I guess, again, we have to see how these play out. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have ideas for some of these already. I really want to mess with Innocence and Philia here. I'm thinking, well, for Philia, I'm thinking Water Fire, and I'm thinking Innocence, obviously, in Fire. Actually, just probably Mono Ice, actually. But imagine being able to do this on one turn and then Sephiroth on the same turn, or always have that on ready. Just this card is always annoying and strong enough. The Crystal Exarch might make his way into a Water Earth deck or a Mono Earth deck. I can see, why pumping him would make the Thancred more playable. I mean, like, his ability stronger and stuff like that. But alone, he's a decent card. Everything else is kind of tied into the theme. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think, and I will have more content. I'm still trying to get my hands on the tins. We have pre-releases coming next month, and we're still in spoiler season, guys. So yeah, a lot of stuff coming up. I'll see you next time. Enjoy.